Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol is a 2009 animated theatrical release about Ebenezer Scrooge having a massive change of heart when he's visited by spirits throughout Christmas Eve night. It is written and directed by Robert Zemeckis, cinematography by Robert Presley, supervising animation done by Jenn, Emberly, Keith Kellogg, and Scott Wirtz, editing by Jeremiah O'Driscoll, and the music is by Alan Silvestri. The film is based off of a book by the same name by Charles Dickens. I've done a good summary for this before, 100%. It stars Jim Carrey as Ebenezer Scrooge at every age, all of the ghosts, and Gary Oldman as Bob Cratchit, Marley, and Tiny Tim. After the Polar Express, Robert Zemeckis kind of fell in love with motion capture and digital theater, as he put it, so he decided A Christmas Carol would be the next great option to do, and he also thought that no one had ever adapted the movie in the way that Dickens actually wrote it. I don't necessarily know if that's true, but whatever. Jim Carrey said there were a lot of physical and vocal things he had to do that made it difficult. Had a $200 million budget, made $325.3 million in the box office, which is not very good at all compared to the budget. 53% on Rotten Tomatoes reads, the 3D animated take on the Dickens classic tries hard, but its dazzling special effects distract from an array of fine performances from Jim Carrey and Gary Oldman. When I saw this when I was younger, I was a little skeezed out by the animation, but now, watching it yesterday, I think it's beautiful to look at. I think the film is stunning. The lighting and just the quality of the animation and effects are insane. I think the only thing that kind of took me out of it was the mouth movements were just like a little bit off. They weren't as detailed as like people's mouths moving or an animation that was like hand animated. I feel like that's like my biggest visual complaint. Otherwise, there are so many scenes in this. The lighting is just so ridiculously beautiful and it's just gorgeous. And like, I'm not as skeezed out by the animation at all. It was kind of like giving video game a little bit, so I'm wondering if that's why I wasn't skeezed. The visual transitions in this are probably the top tier edit aspect of it, which is kind of edit and animation working together. But there were multiple moments that they'd set onto something and like it would change to show the passage of time. And those like visual transitions were just so good, peak. Like I really, really enjoyed seeing those and having them be this artistic choice part of the movie. Opening music was great. The rest of the score was also great. It's Alan Silvestri, so obviously it's on another level. What I think they did really well in this, which sometimes can be difficult, is they used silence just as much as they used music. And so I really think they did a great job of deciding when the music was most essential and when to just let a scene breathe. For instance, I think the Good Afternoon scene toward the beginning where Scrooge is like not donating and being terrible, it's really quiet, there's no music, and then all of a sudden the music comes in and it's just totally like and it was really effective and really good. And I love when films use silence just as much as they use music because they can both be effective. It's just such a great setup for how awful Scrooge is to start the movie, with him taking money off of Marley's dead body's face. Like, it's just immediately like, oh, this man is like just so awful. And then the not wanting to donate, fine, whatever, the way he is to everybody else, just oh my gosh, like, why are you being so awful? They just do such a great setup of that the rest of it kind of pays off, though they do such a great setup of how awful he is that when you're visiting past, present, future, his complete 180 is almost unbelievable in this one for some reason to me. But I don't really have any story notes because it's A Christmas Carol. I love A Christmas Carol. I mean, Mickey's Christmas Carol is probably like one of my favorite Christmas movies. I just have always loved the story. I think it's so heartwarming and such good lessons, and just, I don't know, I've just always loved A Christmas Story, like the Carol, or A Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story. A Christmas Carol, I've just always loved the story of A Christmas Carol, so I don't really have any story notes. I will say this version is pretty scary. Like, I know the Christmas Future, Ghost of Christmas Future, is always kind of scary, but this, like, had a lot of scary things. Like, the Marley and the ghost stuff at the beginning was kind of scary, and then the like horses with the Reaper and all that kind of stuff was really scary, and just and a lot of scary moments. And I feel like I did not remember how scary this was. Granted, I saw this when I was like 15, so like I'm past it scaring me as a kid, but like this is scary. Like I would not want my kids to watch this. I would wait until my kids were much older to watch this, because this has got some scary stuff. Based on the critical consensus, it seems like the acting is the part that a lot of people didn't like, and that doesn't resonate with me. I think Jim Carrey did a fabulous job. He's Jim Carrey. I think he did a really good job. Like, I like this movie a lot, and I think Gary Oldman did a good job. So I don't see where it's just like fine performances. I thought they were good. It's Jim Carrey. Come on. My favorite part is when he raises Marley's pay every time. At the end when he's doing all the good deeds, it's just so heartwarming and wonderful, and how do you not love that? My least favorite part is probably the beginning when he doesn't want to donate and he's just being so awful, because it's sad, you know? Like, it's just depressing. Recommend? Absolutely. Watch again? Of course. I really like this. Specific things. The doorknob always gets me. Just the Marley appearing in the doorknob is just so good. It's just, ugh. The visuals, the story's just iconic and classic, and overall, I really like A Christmas Carol. I've always liked, like, every version of A Christmas Carol I see, I enjoy. I just like it. It's good. So, that's everything. My final rating for this will be 8... gold coins, maybe? Shillings? Out of 10. Our total movie count is... Parent death toll and cry count are still the same, I think. They don't really mention the death of Scrooge's parents, I don't think. Our total movie count is, I already did, right? And our parent death toll and cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with Movie I'm Watching When, follow me on all socials. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1 where you get every video a week early, coupon code for merch. Tiers above that, you get daily trivia, postcards, all that good stuff. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. This is the castle. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you. And don't be... I'm gonna say don't be Scrooge about it for the majority of the movie until he comes around. So be Scrooge in learning your lesson.